Hey guys, welcome back to another video, another super fresh YouTube video for Plan Eats. This is the Plan Eats YouTube channel and I'm Plan Eats, and I'm so happy you decided to click on this little video today. Today's video is going to be short and sweet, but I wanted to make a video about how to grow more hair. This is my own personal experience. I'm not a doctor and this is not a scientific study. I don't have before and after pictures for you. I'm just going to tell you sort of the progression of my hair loss over time and some things that I did to stop that, which I believe I have stopped, and I actually believe that I've regrown more hair. I've got a fuller head of hair. So how did I do that? Well, just as a background, I did start noticing hair loss in my mid-20s. I would say probably when I was about 26, I started noticing my hairline start to recede a bit. I never noticed any loss on the top of my head or the back of my head, so I don't have a bald spot. Not that there's anything wrong with that, of course. And then I started noticing it sort of stopped. So it progressively got worse for a few years and it stopped. And then it picked back up again maybe about 10 years ago, and it started nerving me out. And so I did the classic sort of, bring your hair forward and style it in different ways so that it didn't look so obvious. But I knew it was happening, and probably most people knew it was happening too. So that's fine. I think the main thing for me at that time was I just didn't want it to get any worse. So I looked up remedies for hair loss and natural ways. Of course, I wanted to try some natural ways. And there are foods that you can eat that will actually help with hair loss. Apparently, any foods that have biotin or B7 will help, like eggs, walnuts, spinach, salmon. There's just different foods. Sweet potatoes, I think, also will help with that. And so I obviously did try those foods. When I was not a vegan, I tried, like I said, I tried eggs and salmon, and that didn't really seem to help too much. And then of course walnuts and spinach, that's supposed to help as well. I didn't really notice that help either. So I started getting a little bit freaked out, and I decided that I was going to be more aggressive. So what I did, and I don't know, I just felt like this was probably worth giving it a try. I started trying out something called Rogaine for men. And it's a foam that you put on your head, you just rub it in, and it's sort of, if you don't comb it out, it will actually mousse your hair up. So it almost makes your hair look a little like it has more volume to it. And I would say that initially my hair started falling out even more, which freaked me out. And I looked up on the internet about that. I read the instructions, and it did say that there might be a temporary loss of hair, that it will accelerate hair loss at the beginning, and it did. So I'm going to warn you, if you do try Rogaine, then that is something that will likely happen. And then eventually it stabilized, and then I noticed that there was not that many hairs in the sink when I was shaving in the morning or whatever. And then I would say after a while, I started noticing sort of the top of my head just felt fuller. Like I felt like I wasn't as thin as it had been before. And so I've stuck with it since. So I've probably been using Rogaine for about, I'm gonna say about 2 years. And I would say that it definitely has, number one, halted hair loss, and number two, it has, I think, made my hair fuller. Now, some things you should think about if you're gonna do this. Number one, it's not cheap. I do buy it at Costco, and Costco sells it in larger amounts, so it brings the price down a little bit. I think for about $150, I get 6 of those little canisters. And although you're only supposed to use a little bit, I tend to just sort of put it on my head, and I probably use like 2 or 3 times the amount each time. But it's topical, and apparently it's only supposed to act on the areas that you put it on, so it shouldn't really affect other parts of your body, hopefully. That's one thing. The other thing is you have to be consistent. You can't use it on Monday and then not use it again until Thursday. I use it in the morning, and I use it before I go to bed. So I use it 2 times a day, and like I said, probably a little bit more, or sometimes a lot more than what the instructions call for. But I just find it a pain to spray it into that top part. They give a little sort of capsule on the top, like the top is like this little device that you spray into it, and it's supposed to measure the amount that you put on your hair, and I tend to, you don't put it on your hair, you put it on your scalp, but that's the amount you're supposed to use, and I think I use probably 3 times that amount, but maybe it's just wasting, I don't know. But what do you guys think? Do you think that it is unwise? Do you think it's unhealthy? Do you think it's vain? What are your thoughts on it? Have you tried Rogaine? I know there's Rogaine for women as well. Have you tried it? Let me know in the comments section. Have you had success with it? There may be people who are interested in trying Rogaine and would like to get some input and some advice. Leave your comments and maybe concerns or pieces of advice and experience you have. And that is the video for today. So if you haven't started following me on Instagram and Twitter, the links are down below in the description box. And I look forward to seeing you all back here in a few days' time for another super fresh video.